So in today's video, I was just wanting to talk about how I got my leg sliced open at the Denver International Airport on July 27, 2023. I had the entire trip planned out. I was going with a friend. It is looking to be a good time. Excited. Everything is looking good. This is going to be an unedited video, by the way. But yeah, I got off the plane. We're heading down immediately, going down the escalator, a bunch of people in front of me. I was going down the escalator and I didn't really see anything. All of a sudden, something flips around and snatches my leg. I felt like a sharp pain in my leg, but I was just like, what the hell was that? Like, I looked down, there's like a chunk of my leg out. And then I started feeling like, worsening pains, sharp pains. A piece of the metal or aluminum siding, whatever it was, had come off and was loose. It bounced off the people in front of me, swung up like, a catapult, and snatched a piece of my leg out. Blood started dripping down my leg. Once I got to the bottom of the little area before the next area, I got on the floor. I was trying to find something to put pressure on the wound to stop it from bleeding. It was pretty deep. Now, honestly, I'm not going to act like I'm just disabled after this or like that amputate my leg. No, but the second pretty much after I get in Denver and go down the escalator, this is what happens. And then my friend desperately tries to find, airport staff, and it's a giant airport, so he's trying to ask where some staff is or who's around or whatever. Meanwhile, people are still going down that same escalator where I just had a piece of my leg taken off. And the staff was nice, but they had to, once we finally found them, they had to get permission to shut down the escalator, and they had to wait for an answer, and it was just a whole mess. I eventually talked to a paramedic. Paramedic was there. He looked at it, and he put some gauze on it and wrapped it up. Said I need stitches and to go to the hospital. He said, he offered ambulance, but at the same time, someone was having a heart attack across the airport. I said, go see that person instead. They need it more. So, get the rental car and rush to the ER where I get stitches and everything. I had someone from the airport administration hand me a card to sign a form, fill it out. So, but the rest, my leg was sliced open, and literally, the first thing that happens in Colorado was that. First thing. And so, finally get the stitches and a lot of pain, but had to cancel half the things I had planned on doing because I couldn't get it wet. Didn't want to be too abrasive with it, cause friction. Couldn't go swimming. Couldn't do too much hiking. Constantly had to keep it replaced or triple ointment on it. And so half that stuff, and then the other half of the stuff, I had to freaking try to reel back and not do as much. So like I did a little bit of hiking, but I couldn't do too much or couldn't go too hard because my leg kept hurting. So I was in pain the entire trip because of that sharp pain. I'd be sleeping in the middle of the night and I'd feel a bunch of sharp pain in my leg. And I'm going to include the photos in here, but one of them's kind of graphic. But it's just crazy how this happens. And then I have to be mindful the entire trip of this. I had to keep replacing the Band-Aid, keep having to apply triple ointment. I had to make it stop at the store and buy all this stuff. And now I have a scar for the rest of my life on my leg that is noticeable. And there's an indentation where that was. Well, I had a lawyer working on it after the case, shortly after, within a month or two. And I just got back that they couldn't go any further. The insurance for the airport is blaming the escalator company of insurance, and they're blaming each other and saying it's not their liability. So and I can't get anybody else to take it. They say they don't cover that kind of stuff or anything. Why on earth? So should someone, anybody, just be walking down the escalator or going down the escalator at an airport and have their legs sliced open like that? And yeah, it wasn't going to kill me, but that was horrible. It could have happened to your grandma who was on blood thinners. It could have happened to your 5-year-old daughter. And be scarred for the rest of their lives. Why on earth? Whose liability is this? It's somebody's liability. Why am I the one that just gets the short end of the stick? I had to pay the ER bills to get that stitched up and everything. I had to take off work because of that. My job involved a good amount of walking. I had to have my trip that I had spent good money on and planned out for a long time dampened or outright canceled stuff because of this, and be in severe pain, sharp pain for a week, and now I have a scar the rest of my life. Why does it have to be like this? And now I can't get anything. I'm not asking for $40 million. At least please cover my medical expenses and for the pain and all the inconvenience and stuff and the being scarred for the rest of my life. At least do something for that. Like, come on. Even if you have to do it 50-50 between the insurance companies. But no. The deadline is coming up for 2 years, and then after that, it'll just get dropped. And there's nothing that can be done. So, I'm just going to be SOL. Money out of my pocket that I didn't have extra for. Just walking down the escalator and had to pay for it. It was just gone. I guess, lesson is if you just get your leg sliced open, going down an escalator at the airport, you're just SOL. Too bad. It's somebody's fault, but nope, no one's going to take responsibility. And I guess, that's the lesson I learned. It's just crazy how nothing will come of this. Literally nothing. I'm desperately trying to find and see if anybody would pick up this case or be able to do anything. But I know chances of that are unlikely. Chances of any news picking that up is unlikely, but maybe if some optics change or something, people heard about it, it might help. At this point, surely it can't hurt. Why on earth? I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, if your leg gets sliced open at the airport and it's scarred for the rest of your life, ruins your trip, I guess it's your problem, no one else's. So, hopefully someone out there maybe can help. Maybe something can come out of this. But if you even made it this far, I appreciate you listening. People shouldn't have to deal with this. And while I'm not disabled for life or didn't get third-degree burns or something, and this could happen to anybody, no one should have to deal with this. And I'm just hoping something can come of it. So, thanks for listening. Have a nice day. Thanks.